Welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Welcome to the show today. Excited to have you on here and the show Drive Safe Dave. For a little spoiler alert, next week we're going to have a sheriff in town.
I know. I enjoyed. We had a pre-interview and I had a lot of fun. I was excited. I was a little giddy. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I was a little giddy talking to the big sheriff, Lamb, and I'm going to tell you that was kind of exciting.
You know what? It was dang exciting. That's America's sheriff, Sheriff Lamb. I mean, he stands tall. He's got that hat on. And Drive Safe Dave, he's going to tell you and me and all of you out there exactly what's in his mind because he doesn't hold back much.
And we were like, hey, so you want to go? He goes, no. I want it all. I want the questions as they come because I'm willing to tell it like it is. And I go, okay, let's go.
You know what? We're going to talk to him a little bit. Also, he was just initiated to the Hall of Fame.
Nice.
So that's a big, big, big deal. You know, we're just excited to continue to get, you know, I don't want to say better because that makes the other guys like, what was I, chopped liver? As we continue to add to our arsenal here on BCB Live.
Absolutely. I mean, we're getting some really good pinch hitters coming in and hitting home runs. And I'm telling you, this one's going to definitely be a home run because he's talking real America problems and real America solutions. So I like that. Yeah, I dig that.
No doubt. Hey, so listen, if you have a question, you want us to go ahead and ask that for you, get it ready for us. Now listen, he doesn't want to be prepped on anything. He goes, I want to hear it live. Yeah. You know, partner, we're having a draw out on this day here. Yeah. That's what it's going to be like. So if you have a question, you want to email it to us at info@bcblive.tv. Get that over to us. Ask a question. Let us get ready and see if we can catch him by surprise.
I will tell you, and one of the genuine things I do like, not only that, is he's not afraid. I mean, he's a
big boy.
Yeah. No. Let me tell you, this guy means business. And we were talking yesterday a little bit about dangers. He was like, yeah, those are dangers, but I'm not worried. I got this. And my guy.
That was not what I expected. I know he's a bit, but he did. I'm not scared. I'm thinking, I'm scared for
I'm not talking about talking. I'm talking about in real world problems out there meeting. What was it? He was talking about
Border Patrol.
Cartel. He's like, they don't really jack with me. And I was like, okay.
You know what? I can see that. Hey, Dave, let's move that over. So, yeah, don't forget to join us next week, and we'll announce that show day. I think it's on Tuesday. But we'll get it out to you. Make sure you know to prep yourself for this show. Drive Safe Dave. We go in, and last week we announced, or the week before, we talked about Spirit Airlines getting purchased by Frontier. Well, guess who? Yeah, he put a bid in, but it was a pretty strong one. Well, JetBlue comes in, stomping down, saying, no. I got your bid. Well, I'll throw in another $2.5 billion, or what was that?
Yeah, I think it was another extra $400 million on top of it. Cold hard cash. They said all cash too.
Cash.
Yeah, all cash. We're good. And another discount airline's coming in to try to really squeeze out these discount raters.
Yeah, so they come in saying, "Hey, we'll give you $3.6 billion cold hard cash." You know that makes that phrase that pays not look too well. Anyway, $3.6 billion compared to that $2.9 billion in cash from Frontier. Dave, we continue to see these mergers, these acquisitions, and it's not cheap to fly right now.
No,
those deals are gone. What a great time to buy and merge as a airline right now because. Your year-over-year numbers are going to be great because you're charging a lot of money right now.
Yeah, and if you're planning on taking a vacation or you're planning on taking some time, don't wait, huh?
I'd say wait.
Or buy now if you're going to play in the future because those fuel prices are so high right now. Where do you think they'll be? You think they'll stabilize or?
They're stabilizing. We see right now. Are they going to? I don't know. Yeah,
I remember at the height of the pandemic, I went out to California, $45 round trip.
And there was nobody on the plane.
No, there were people on the plane. There were a few people on the plane, but $45 round trip's pretty darn good, right?
Yeah.
You're like,
you won't get that today.
You can't. Yeah, I can't even drive.
20 times that.
Can't even drive to Austin for that.
I think it's 900. It's about 20 times that.
Yeah, it's tough to get an airline reservation at all right now without paying top dollar. So, yeah, the bargains are gone. High prices on that. Diesel is staying up, though, Dave. And,
it is.
And we see that pricing at the pump. And we're going to talk about it here in just a second. but it really has stabilized. I mean, we saw that one of the markets say, hey, we did see it come down. It went down like 0.14%. I mean, so it's just minimal. It's nothing that's going to allow you to go out and buy a new house or anything like that. Not yet.
Almost, actually, what it is just stabilized high, Rick. Let's be honest with it. It's just stabilized, but high. I mean, I don't you agree? Anything over 5? That's just high.
It's high. And again, and we were talking about that before the show. You have you have a lot of different opinions going on right now. We saw yesterday we had Kramer from CNBC saying, hey, no. I believe my data is better than that of Sonar. Craig Fuller came out and said, we're in a freight, recession, right? It's down and pretty loom and gloom. And Kramer saying, that's not what I see over on my side.
Kramer's not always right all the time.
we got a Kramer fan over there. And when y'all said Kramer, I was thinking about that guy from Seinfeld, with the hair. I thought that's who we were talking about.
Well, a lot of people would agree with me that Jim Kramer is kind of an idiot. So I'm just going to throw that out here.
Calling it out right here on the air live.
But I do say this, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Just because the stock market is going a certain way, and it's not the same thing as freight.
No, it is never.
It's different.
It's totally different. In fact, I would almost tend to say that how freight goes, the stock market follows later. Later. Not right now, not in the present, but in the aftermath of how freight deals with. Because I think you move the freight, and then all of a sudden the stock market starts to react accordingly.
Yeah, whereas people's stock, their equity goes up, right? Then they can take some draws on that, and they can buy more stuff, and it can push up the freight volumes, right?
Well, I mean,
it's been more housing,
but I think total consumer demand.
Okay, but let's just think about this. We see the fuel pricing going up. Immediately, that means that trucking companies are going to suffer. I get those questions all the time myself. That that fuel has to be killing you. And what they don't realize, and what you've got to realize, is that as long as fuel remains steady,
correct,
up here or down here steady, we can pass that cost back onto the shipper, back onto you, right? Back onto the consumer is who it's going to. So it doesn't necessarily affect those large trucking companies, Dave, and what we do know it does affect is the spot market pricing, but the spot market tends to be what those independent contractors, those smaller trucking companies, say under 25 trucks, what they are out there hauling and pulling.
Yeah, I would tell you that no matter but the fuel is separate from the rate that they get from the load, so they're
I don't. No, I disagree with that. So to the independent contractor, a rate's a rate.
No, I don't mean that. I'm just saying that their ability to do well on the lane or not be as protected. What I'm talking about, they're not protected by the fuel, so they suffer.
They're only involved in the spot market, and that has nothing to do with fuel. That has to do with the market of what we're in today. So, hey, let's dive into that phrase that pays. I'm sorry, not the phrase that pays, but to the a little bit of freight, Dave. But before we do that, we're going to go into a break, or you know what? Let's go into a sponsor. Let's let our sponsor do the freight and review. Coming up next on BCB Live,
the safest station in the nation. This segment has been brought to you by Utility ProWear. Utility ProWear manufactures high-quality, ANSI-certified, high-visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility ProWear gives you the added benefit of providing a barrier to liquids, dirt, and grime, keeping you cleaner longer, brighter longer, and therefore safer longer. Get your high-visibility apparel by going to utilityprowear.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount.
Don't forget to use that code to get that 20% discount. Drive safe, Dave. Let me tell you, I know you want to look like this, but you've got to go to that website. Hey, focus on this. That's a great company. We interviewed them yesterday. Great product. I love the way it feels, Drive Safe, Dave. And I feel like it's taken off 10 pounds of TV weight off me.
Not only that, I was out in the yard today, and I think NASA was repositioning satellite just to get a better look at me out there on the yard in this bright, very ANSI gear.
I like it. Hey, Drive Safe, before we went to break, we started talking a little bit about freight. And what we're looking at right here are the trends. And the current trend mark we're going to start with is going to be the 6-month trend. And we want to see, we got a little delay here. Okay, well, we look at what I believe is a 6-month trend already here. We see that the fuel is up 51%. 5% down are those rates on the spot market, and that's you, the independent contractor out there. 18% down when it comes to the volume. Okay, so we see volume down 18%, and although we don't have the TV behind us, we're okay. Listen, we continue to see, Dave, some major trends, and we go back, and I'll show you in a minute, but the 1-month trends. So the 1-month trends we see right now, let's face it, man, they're critical. Hey, we're going to come back to you. We're going to get this fixed real quick. Give me 1 minute and 20 seconds, Dave, and we can come back with a little BCB Live.
Safest station in the nation.
That's it. There you go. I know.
All of a sudden, I felt like I was on the spot.
We're going to be... All right, welcome back to BCB Live, safest station in the nation. We're back and better than ever. We're going to hop into the 3-month trends because we want to see what's going on in the last 3 months just to follow these trend lines around. So fuel in the last 3 months up 42%, volume up 14% from 3 months ago. That's not bad. Hey, rates from 3 months ago still kind of at 3%. We're still seeing a lot of a lot of pretty good rates going on and a lot of freight coming out. And here we go. We're going with a little glitch. We're good though. Here we go. We're going to talk again. We're going to look at that 1-month trend here, and this is what I think we want to focus in on. We go back and look at the 1 month. All right, here we go. Give it to me, baby. All right. Even today, in the last 30 days, David, we have the fuel pricing up 15%. And now we see in the last month what you all are feeling. We see a spot market rate decrease of 7% in the last 30 days. So, Dave, a $2,000 load, 7% is what? A lot of money. 140 bucks. There you go.
140 bucks less.
We see the market, we see the volume being shipped out down 13%. And those all-important rejections, okay? And they're all important to you, the independent contractor out there, because that's what creates your spot market. Volume down 13%, rejections down 32%. Again, what that's telling you is that your rates are going to continue to slide down. Even though, Dave, fuel remains very high. And when we talk about fuel, let's just look at the fuel at the pumps right now in the last 3 months again. We look at the last 3 months, we see it, Dave, as we said today, it's kind of staying even about that 5.10 mark.
Yep.
Okay, as long as freight and fuel stays, as long as fuel stays consistent, we, a trucking company or a large broker, can go back to their shippers and charge a fuel that gets it compensated back to what you're paying. The difference in brokerage and trucking, brokers aren't going to give you that fuel. Right? And that's the part. So if you're an independent contractor out there running under your own authority, listen, yes, fuel's up. But that's up to the broker. Okay? They are paying you the market rate. And again, that market rate continues decline. You've got to know that. And when we look again, let's just see what the trends are on some major shipping areas. Oh, here we go. In the purple right here is Los Angeles. Los Angeles is down in the last 30 days as well. We're down 10% in volume. We see in orange, Atlanta. down 14% in the last 30 days. Dallas down 15%, and Chicago nearly 16% off in volume in the last 30 days. And Dave, when we see these trends, we talked about it. And so now let's go back to our Kramer talk, right? Kramer and FreightWaves talk. We see all these trends, and every number I'm telling you, Dave, says for the asset-based company, they are going to have a bad year. That's what that says, right? I think that's what Craig Fuller's saying. You look at these trends, the trucking industry, I think is what he's referred to actually, is going to be in trouble, and it could be close to that 2019. Thoughts?
Yeah, and I look at it, and what to me is a little disturbing or concerning, not disturbing, but concerning, is that we just experienced the end of a quarter. And typically at the end of a quarter, we have a small surge, right? We have a genuine...
March is a big surge, yes.
Yeah, March is a big surge. We didn't have that surge that we normally have. And it is concerning, right? I mean, we didn't see that normal end of the quarter uptick because typically we do well. Trucking companies do well in those.
Freight volume goes up. So in theory, your spot market, everything points up, right? Up. Okay, so let's talk to what I say a little bit. Yeah, none of that's up. But here's the other thing, is that last year, trucking companies, and it wasn't by that any kind of great intervention, any great divine, nothing like that. Listen, there were no trucks last year. We were in a year as well where it was tough to get drivers. We were going through COVID from the previous 2 years.
Right.
So no drivers, no trucks were on allocation. Okay, trucking industry is. A lot of drivers went into that market, Dave, to be a driver, right? To open up their own business at all-time high rates.
Absolutely.
And they bought tractors on all-time high rates or cost, right? They're buying their insurance probably at an all-time high. Their trailers, hey, guess what? All-time highs. Everything they purchased was on the high side. And now we start seeing the market changing. Dave, who I believe is in more trouble right now, the immediate trouble, and I'm saying the next 6 months, are those independent contractors,
100%.
Not the trucking companies. And again, trucking companies say greater than 100. Those companies that have 90, 95% customer freight.
Yeah, because they're going to be protected a lot by the fuel surcharge.
And they didn't, and what we didn't do.
You go out and,
Yes, and again, what we did in 2018 and 2019, let's just be honest, is that we saw that first 6 months of 2018, and we thought we were all the greatest. It's the time to get into the market. Let's go out and order more trucks than ever because they were there.
Yeah.
We got more trucks than ever in. And then, Dave, we couldn't do that this time. We saw the highest rates in the history last year, and it was what it was. It was all about maximizing what you could get because that was all you were going to get. There were no trucks, there were no drivers, and drivers were quitting to go and play that spot market.
Yeah, and they budgeted their all of their concerns at that moment where they were, right, at the spot market. So what the cost of the truck, the cost of the insurance, and the cost of doing business, all of those were budgeted based upon those prices at the time. And here we are. We're seeing a huge decline in those prices.
Yeah, we are. We really are. And I'm going to see if I want to show you one graph here, Dave, and just buy me a second right here. And here we go right here. This is the contracted rates, okay? So here we go. We see the contracted rates, and we see, Dave, on the final contracted rates, it continues to go up.
Yep.
Right? So the contracted rates are going up, to the trucking companies. Why? Well, because now they're saying no to less. Trucking companies, those large brokers, they're saying no to less because the rates are up here and they're able to sell that freight a lot less right now because now the brokerage aspect is back in the hands. That market is being dictated more so than it was 3 months ago, a month ago, by the brokers, by the truck companies, by those that have the freight, versus the drivers dictating what that rate can be.
Yeah, because now there's more tractors vying for the same loads, and because of that, it's able to drive the price down. I mean, that's really what's going on. Before there weren't enough trucks, and all those they had a huge store. Any truck out there could go anywhere it wanted to and pick whatever freight it wanted to.
Yeah, pick whatever on any kind of lane you wanted to, and it's just I think. I think what we're saying here is, hey, here's another perspective. You have Kramer, you have BCB Live, you have, Craig Fuller at Freight Waves giving the perspectives. And I know each and every one of you have your own as well. But, Dave, what I do like about that sonar, and we're big users of sonar, is that it talks to the data. And when you're able to see the data, as long as data comes in measured the same, that's how you can track the trends. And we want to talk just a minute to you, to the trucking company, the driver, those of you who have your own business. You have to know what your trend is like. You may see numbers up here that say we're brokering out for $3.50 a mile and it's down 20 cents. You're like, I never got $3.50. Listen, we're talking percentages. If it was at $3.70, now it's at $3.50. Understand the trend, and your rates are going to go down to that same degree or up on the same degree as well.
Yeah, and we're going to, but right now, and I like the picture that you paint, is that right now, as we look at it, we've got to visualize that trend is going to continue to go the direction it's going, and it's going to, I don't see anything in the market to change it drastically.
Well, but you know what? But let's bring some changes up. So, Jack, hop in here now. So, Jack, what's going on right now in China?
Give me a second
You're
here.
good.
COVID.
Yeah, well, we got COVID again, right? And so that could create some slowdowns in supply chains, right? And
they're shutting some major ports
so they're
down.
shutting down. Yeah, shutting down a lot of manufacturing because they have that zero COVID policy over there, and that's going to lead to a surge in demand, right? Because if I'm a manufacturer, if I'm a reseller, distributor, whatever, I don't care. I got to have my supply, even if it's not a full truck, right? Because that's what we saw during COVID. You got to have it, and you'll pay that rate to get it because you can't wait for a full truck, right? So you'll just pay for it on the spot market.
So some weird things right now. We sit at all-time high inventory again, not all-time, but a very high inventory today. But what Jack's saying, if we just go back to that and think that through a little bit, well, in a month or two, these inventories are going to start getting, diminished a little bit, little by little. And if these ships don't come in from China, Jack, guess what? They're nothing to replace them with, right?
Exactly, because we don't make anything here.
Another good point.
Whoa! I would say 80.
Okay, 99% of the Amazon, 99% of the Amazon catalog is made in China. Let's be real here.
I get it. I get it.
So those are things that we see that we don't know how that's going to work out yet, right? I mean, just in time for that next surge, that holiday surge, do we run out of inventories again? And all of a sudden, when these ships start coming back in from China, are they going to start coming in like they were before? Many get backlogged, right?
And yeah, we're forgetting about Russia here, that they have through their ports, 2% of containers go through. So if you have sanctions, you have ships not picking up containers. There could be a shortage of containers and products being able to be moved in the first place. So there's a whole bunch of constraints.
And how are the consumers feeling right now, Jack?
Yeah, low consumer sentiment right now because I think rent's up 17% and inflation's
not a lot to be excited about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a consumer right now, hey, guess what? That chicken cost me a little bit more to buy yesterday. Every week.
Not just this
now
week,
fuel.
every week.
And guess what? When I turn that thing on, if Will Smith's not being slapped, then there's a war going on over it. Not Will Smith, Chris Rock's not getting slapped. Then there's a war going on. And again, we start seeing it over and over. Chaos is going on. And as a consumer, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't feel good about what's going on right now.
I'm going to hold out, and I'm not probably. And if I see my grocery bill incline every week, every single week, from week to week to week, 10%. That's a lot. I mean, if you're seeing it grow dramatically, you're going to not spend that discretionary income as freely as you would before. You're going to hold on to it a little bit just to make sure that you can cover the rent bill, and you can cover the gas bill, and you can cover the electric bill, and you can cover the food bill. I mean, you're not going to spend that discretionary income, and you and I both know the United States economy is run on that income.
Consumerism.
Yeah.
That's our market.
It is the church of the dollar.
But yet we see, vacation still going on. We see people still buying airline tickets. We see, what we're not seeing are, is that money being spent on the house. And I think your house has been fixed up already.
Yeah.
You did that for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what? You're done with the honeydews.
Yeah, you bought enough shoes.
Yeah,
now it's time to wear them
I did
out.
not hear shoes coming out.
Yeah,
that was something else. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but
shoes.
now you're time to wear them somewhere. I mean, you've been buying them at home for 2 years. Now you want to go somewhere and wear them, right? I mean, and that's what it is. I mean, it just continues to go on and on.
All I could think of is family vacation and Chevy Chase, with those white shoes, and Dave right now wanting to put those on.
I like white shoes, by the way, leather white shoes. I'm that guy.
You know what I'm talking about,
and
right?
The family trucks and the family truckster.
Oh yeah, that was a.
Oh man, I like that. Yes, sir. Hey, Dave, and fuel is going to continue to be a problem. Maybe not so much in 2024, but today and in 2024 they have some new standards coming out, right, on them vehicles.
Oh yeah, they got.
What is it though? It's like 46 miles an hour.
49.
Oh yeah,
49
miles
per gallon
in best highway, but they said in reality,
what
like
does that
30,
even mean?
That the vehicles will have to have a minimum fuel mileage ability of 49 mile an hour at certain
not mile an hour.
49 miles per gallon at certain degrees of testing, and I think the standard will be 36.
Wow.
Is
that for a big truck too? Like
no. That's for.
I mean, for like your pickup truck.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. They're actually talking about making it, or they have to pay credits. Right? Don't they have to pay like credits?
Yeah,
if they don't, they
credits.
have to pay credits to the electric car companies in order to make that. Yeah, so that money's passed on to them.
And no, let's not forget too, all those EVs are taking up commodities, and so especially even the new truck. What about the new trucks though? New commercial trucks, aren't things changing in 2024?
Yeah,
so,
we have the
what's
the new
different about
California Red coming out, where it gets a little bit more strict. They have to have more on the engine. It's more engine stuff, right?
Yeah,
idle and all that.
Yeah, it's more of a smart way technology.
But it's all done. All the truck companies have already done it. They're all ready for it.
Yeah, they're all ready.
They're just waiting like everybody to produce that engine. Right now, it's funny you bring that up though, because right now the answer used to be, well, buy all the trucks you want to right now, so you don't have to worry, so you don't have to mess that emissions. You can't buy all the trucks you want right now. You can't do it.
Well,
they can't produce them.
Yeah, and they're really not changing anything to the emissions on the trucks, which is what we saw back in 2010 and 2012, which was a fiasco in and of itself. But what we're seeing a lot more is on what else they're doing, the aerodynamics and the different things that they're doing to the truck to make it a little bit more efficient out there on the road. The low rolling tire, the friction resistant rolling tires, and all these other things that makes the truck get a little bit better mileage. They are got some specs on them, but I don't think the emissions is where we're talking.
I'm gonna go fake news. Maybe we can get somebody from Volvo or KW in here
I don't think they changed a whole bunch of that.
I bet you they changed.
I have a feeling they require more chips though. So we're just going to continue to see the shortage
chips.
of equipment.
They did require more chips somewhere on the truck.
So I don't know if we talked about that on the show yet or not, but so the way those chips work for those manufacturers, and we spoke about that the other day in the conference room. We were talking to one of the manufacturers. They said, hey, listen, the chip market is so jacked up still today, and this has been going on for a little while, where they have to order chips online, and they will go online and pay whatever they are, and they get the chips sent here to verify it first, and then they have to send them back overseas to make sure to test and to make sure they're legit. And
they're not bad chips. They're not bad chips, and they've already bought them.
So think about the extra transportation involved in doing all of that. You're paying in 10x for that same part that you were paying before. Now you don't even know if they're the right chip for what you have. You have to then ship it overseas for them to run tests out, then to ship it back to the manufacturer and say, hey, they're good. All of that extra transportation has gone into these trucks.
Yeah, and it's not just them. And you think about the different parts to the truck and all the new add things that you do, and as they continue to add these new sensors, new monitors, new deals, new nitrous oxide systems, new ways to find out if we're emitting the right gases and we're emitting the right temperatures and we're emitting the right things. All those are run by chips and all sensors. And as that continues to add in, it just adds more and more. And by the way, the chip shortage is still a problem. It's still a problem.
Not the potato chips, but the chips.
Yeah,
because they couldn't make enough chips to make new chip machines. So seriously, it's like a chicken and egg problem.
I will tell you, there are a few chip shortages still out there, potato chip shortages out there. Spicy chips are the hardest things right now. They're still having a hard time making those. I'm just letting you know that.
Again, you know what?
Fake. That's not fake news.
It could be.
You might have to cut back on the chips with all the inflation too.
It's insider information.
We'll do a little fact checking, but before we do that, we're going to hop it over to Buckle Up Bob. Listen, we're going to talk weather. We're going to see what's going on. And, of course, we have videos and safety to talk about. Much, much more to come yet on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. And Buckle Up Bob, and we've got wind. Man, oh man, do we have some wind, folks. So again, right now, we're looking at it in the DFW area, and we're seeing some 40-mile-an-hour gusts, and also up north of 80, kind of right along 80, if you will, and north is the worst. You can see Nebraska. We've got some 52-mile-an-hour gusts in northern Nebraska, also Wyoming and eastern Wyoming and South Dakota, as the winds are expected to pick up. And so when we look at what it's going to do today, you can see by about 11 o'clock, we start getting into Kansas, right? So in Iowa, you're going to feel it as well. The DFW area starts to die down around noon. And as we drag this out, look at Kansas, all Kansas, you're going to see some 56-mile-an-hour gusts coming out of Colorado into Kansas on 70. Look at North Platte, Nebraska, Grand Island in the upper 50s. And then right here as you come out of Denver going north into Nebraska, we'll click on that. Some 64-mile-an-hour gusts likely today. So it's going to be very, very windy again. From the panhandles up north, again, this is about 3 p.m., and as we drag this through the evening hours, you can see it kind of dies down a little bit, around midnight-ish. And then tomorrow, we get a little bit more of the same. You can see it dips down a little bit farther into the panhandles. Again, right up here on this corner, you're looking at 55-mile-per-hour gusts, and it covers a lot of Missouri, western Iowa, all of Kansas again for tomorrow. And around 10 p.m., you can see it dies a little bit, but it's still some dangerous wind conditions for Thursday evening. And then as we get into Friday, we start getting a little bit back to normal. The storms, right? They should be all but gone for the most part. There's that system out to the west by Friday. I'm sorry, let's see where it is. There we go. So today, now it's moved into Atlanta, the Carolinas, the Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle. This evening, some lingering showers, some storms. They don't look to be quite as severe. And then by tomorrow, it just turns into rain with some potential strong storms in the Washington, D.C. area and Pennsylvania. So, again, just be ready for that. Some snow, actually still up in Minnesota, the Dakotas, northern Iowa possibly. Not expected to be a big storm that I believe, but the big one's going to be the tornadoes. As proves, I think they've already confirmed 3 in the DFW area from this storm system that is moving through the south. And I think, again, yesterday it hit Mississippi and Louisiana and parts of Alabama, and today is no different. It's going to, again, wreak havoc along those southeastern Gulf states. Hey, we'll take a quick break and be right back with some safety.
Good morning, everybody. And Sir Rick has got a little bit of fatigue hosting going on today.
You know what? Never host fatigue.
I thought
we've been telling you about.
I thought we were frozen. I was worried for a second.
We weren't frozen. We were Emphas making a point over here to show you just how bad it can be.
I didn't know he was that good of an actor. I mean, he had the producer.
I'm going to tell you, you think driving fatigue's dangerous? Try hosting fatigue.
Did you take some Benadryl today? Is that what happened?
You know what? I did take some Benadryl, and am I okay? I didn't take Benadryl. I mean, y'all, everybody out there knows that Sir Rick's never been sick.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh,
he's never been sick. So, but buckle up, Bob. We are talking fatigue driving, and I think particular today we're going to dive into a little bit of that medication.
Medications and your health conditions. Drivers, you're in an industry that does not promote very good health, right? The eating habits that you have to take on, grabbing a meal where you can, and usually those meals aren't very healthy.
Guilty.
And we see a lot of drivers, right, that have high blood pressure.
Guilty.
All those things that can affect how your alertness, if you will. Guilty. And alertness will lead to the fatigue driving. So medications, illnesses, diseases, and some medications will interfere with that alertness. And that increases the risk of fatigue driving. One thing I want to really make sure, drivers out there, if you're not in the habit, make sure you get it because it is required. When you get put on medication, get with your company, get with your safety department, your HR department, whoever, and have them check that out. See if it's tested for it, and also see what are the ramifications for driving. A lot of them have some strict. One of the things that I notice is if your medication ends in ONE, and that goes, as Sir Rick loves to say, the phone also, it is probably not allowed to be used while you're driving a commercial motor vehicle. They all affect and make you drowsy and sleepy.
And Bob brings up a great point, not only with prescription medications, but you also have to be aware of over-the-counter medications as well, things that you can just walk into the grocery store and buy. And that's why I brought up Benadryl. You have these allergies, and pollen is up a lot. There are certain allergy medications that will cause you to be drowsy, and they'll cause you not to be able to be as alert as normal. So you also have to make sure you're aware. And if it says on the package, do not operate heavy machinery, guess what? That tractor trailer that you're pulling, that's the one that you're driving, that certainly is and warrants the warning sign of operating heavy machinery.
I got another one for you, a cone. It's not time to eat a cone when you're driving a big truck as well. That's a major detraction, and that means you got to drive with one hand. Drive safe, Dave. Do you have an ONE that you can you shouldn't do?
An ONE that you shouldn't do?
Yeah, buckle up, Bob. Like ends in ONE.
Like no one? I don't zone. I don't know. Work zone. You shouldn't be eating in a work zone. It is distracting, and it also is very dangerous. Don't do that. It can cause danger.
Not bad, buckle up.
I was just going to say, knowing Dave's driving habits, you should never drive alone.
Oh, I like that. Or eat a bone.
A scone.
Oh, man.
You know what? Again, a lot of value we bring here. We bring you here on BCB Live. It's the safest station in the nation because we know intimate details about safety like that. You have the Smith systems, and you have the ONE Smith system that we were just kind of going over right there.
The ONE Smith system. Beware of. But I'll tell you, you know what? And not only, Bob, do the medications cause you to be drowsy? Also, the reason you're taking the medications, whether you've got bad allergies and you didn't sleep the night before, or you've got a bad head cold, or you've got something going on, an ailment that causes you to not having rested well. Now we're talking about driving fatigue, right? All those things lay into this whole ideology that when you need medication or if you're not feeling well or you're sick, those can also add to fatigue.
Yeah, the ones I've seen the most is prednisone and hydrocodone. Hydrocodone seems to be the number one that shows up on random tests a lot of times that were prescribed medication. But again, you cannot take it while driving a commercial motor vehicle. And usually hydrocodone, you have a 72-hour window once you stop taking it before you can drive again. It will still show up on a random test out there. So drivers, if you're taking hydrocodone for some pain or whatnot, you can't drive the commercial motor vehicle. It's just against the law.
It's against the law, Bob. I know we're going to hop into some videos. As we do that, don't forget as well, if you find yourself playing the xylophone, don't do that as well.
There you go.
I'll be playing the trombone.
Or the saxophone.
Let's talk videos.
I had some technical difficulties, so I've seen these for the first time.
All right, well, let's look at them together. So we saw a turn on the left, and we're going to get a chance to look at it again. Here we go. Left-hand turn. A safe left-hand turn, and we're coming up. Is that a yellow? Red.
That's a red
light.
That's a red light. And I.
Now, is that good? I mean, he continued to go. The driver just saw it was yellow, but made a decision early just to run the red line. Yep. Is that what we want?
No, that is not what we want. It is never okay to break the law and endanger the lives of everyone and anyone around you at the time of the execution of the turn.
Agree.
And remember, we just shared last week, left-hand turns when there's accidents are the ones that usually end up being fatal.
All right, we see another one right here. We see a, triple left-hand turn coming up here.
Great job, driver.
That's what we want to see. You make that decision to stop, and yes, in triple left-hand turn. Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen that either.
Me neither. I got to tell you, I don't think I ever.
Dave, I know. Of course you have.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Probably the fake news is a million times in a month.
9 at a time.
Don't stop, dude. Seriously, it's a T in the road. Where you're going left. You're not going straight, guys. I mean, let me bring it to you. I mean, it's
right.
It's a one-way. Don't go right.
Yeah, there's no right-hand turn here.
No.
I mean, everything's left. All right, here we go.
Oh, man. All right.
So, hit the brakes. Look at that driving right there.
Love it.
That is great driving right there. Just slowed down, saw the traffic stopping up ahead, and instead of waiting till the last second to hit the brakes, they did it timely.
Yes. The OV takes two lane changes at once, and then we say 1 in 5 in a stop traffic line, and there's the 1 in 5 in the red car that's going to jump out of there, where people can't see that red car, right? Because the truck's got them blocked coming up on that lane. Great job, driver. Here we got some rain, and we got a four-wheeler making an illegal pass. But again, speed and space. This driver was doing 26 miles per hour in the rain. That is your situational awareness. You have traffic, you have merge points, you have weather. Great job, driver. Boy, a lot of candidates for our...
I'm going to agree. We see the weather. It's bad weather. It's rain. We're at merge points. We have, just a lot of action. Situational awareness says, look up ahead. We see a lot of red lights up there as well. And the driver, instead of speeding up or doing something, slows down, allows the vehicle in, makes it a smooth transition. That is a phenomenal job right there.
Let crazy be crazy. And just react accordingly.
What was that?
Let crazies be crazy and react accordingly.
You were talking with your mouth shut, so I couldn't understand you. Here we go.
It's called humming.
You were humming that?
No, I'm just saying. Isn't that what that is?
All right, so we see situational awareness. Here we go.
Look at space is increasing here. Great job. Seeing the situation.
Got a little bit of a situation here.
Wow.
And able to stop. And we can see the road. Again, great job.
It's a funeral. They're allowing the people on. And what it is you're basically encountering a different scenario and a different situation and reacting accordingly, slowing down, and allow the funeral, and out of respect, to go ahead and enter the roadway. Even though the left lane is clear, I do like what happens here, and I do like what's going on.
Oh, and we're going to end the way we start. All right.
Coming in.
Not too bad a space.
Give me some space.
We're going to change lanes first versus slow down. All right, remember that. Because it doesn't mean just because you change lanes it's going to clear and then you can see the traffic slows down. Again, just make the first decision has to be to take the speed out of the equation. The lane change is okay. You just got to make sure you take the speed out of the equation because, again, as you see, you jump out here and the traffic just almost stops here as well.
Yeah, you got to increase the space here. You're going too fast to this close. The time is not right. You're tailgating, and that you can't control the space in front of you when you're that close going that speed to this vehicle. You're out in the hammer lane. Look, you've got this distance, and you notice that it closes rapidly. You got to widen that distance, even if you have to slow down or touch the brakes. You've got to make sure you have enough room in that lane to be safe.
It looks like it kind of started at the end. We don't have enough video to see where maybe the driver did kind of come to that conclusion. Just try. What we want to see is do it quicker, right? So that you have that time in case something goes wrong.
Good stuff right there, Bob. Great videos right there. I have a question for you. So, when we talk to the safety professionals out there that are seeing these videos with their drivers for the very, very first time, okay, maybe they just put cameras on their trucks. They're seeing what you're showing us right now. Give me some advice to them on ways to create success using these videos.
Reviewing with them. One of those videos happened to be a driver that we talked to just a week or yesterday, and from a tailgating video that he or she had, and then right away he was in one of the good ones. And it's just the videos I think are our best learning curve or tool. And so when we talk to others, we do get to share some of the videos. I know we had an altercation out in the Northeast one time with some dump trucks, and called the company to talk to them about it because they ended up sandwiching the driver in and forcing him off the road. And of course, they gave a different thing that the driver aggravated and whatever. But what I loved about talking to that safety professional was, you know what? That wrong doesn't constitute what my drivers did, and they will be dealt with. And I appreciate that. And I said, and I will talk to my driver based on what you said, just to keep that communication and say, hey, we got to share the road, work as a team. But it was one of the best that I've had with working as a team, because even though their driver said that our driver had done something, he just jumped to the fact that what his drivers did was absolutely 100% wrong.
So now let's go specific to a video that you see. And again, we saw many videos in there. The videos that were good, okay, the videos that you looked at and you said, man, I like that spacing. I like that decision that driver made. Do you call or is somebody contacting that driver and giving them kudos as well?
Not as often as we should be.
So suggestions. So let's just talk to the professionals out there. I mean, don't you think that would be another way to, because in our industry, Dave and Bob, let's face it, we are graded on our failures. Absolutely. We're graded on not what we do, but what we don't do. Those are the service failures, right? Those are the idle time for the fuel. That's the times of driving, productivity. It's all based on what you didn't do. That's how our industry works. And to our drivers, to the drivers out there, for a safety person or operations manager, you know what? We have a great opportunity on these videos to celebrate with them as well, so they can be rewarded for what they do.
Yeah, the pat on the back is a lot more important than you realize, especially all the hard work that goes into while you're out there on the world. You may be seeing 99. I mean, we only see a 0.01% of the driver's activity in a specific moment in an 11-hour day, and while out there on the road. And I'm just telling you that a good pat on the back every now and then will go a long way. A lot of attaboys will definitely help now and then. Also to encourage to make those improvements to those driving habits, right? I mean, we can sit here and talk about what you didn't do, but we also should talk about, and I like that, to talk about what you did do and why you do it, and go into the reasoning with the driver, so that way it can help explain it to the next guy that doesn't do it that way. So you can say, hey, look, I've talked to 2 or 3 guys, and this is what they do, and this is why they do it. I'm not especially speaking for my own personal, but I'm talking to other guys that do this very thing and why they do it to help create good habits across the board.
Yeah, so we have some ideas on that, right? Some things that would really work. Those are exciting ways for you to make a positive impact. Let's talk about the other videos, the videos that a driver runs. We saw a driver run in a red light, and that video, buckle up, Bob, is your advice to that safety professional or to that operations person to get on the phone with that driver and to let them have it right then to make sure, do you know what you did and what was wrong? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you suggest?
No, absolutely not. One of the things we encourage is look at their logs, see if they're driving. You do not want to have a come to Jesus moment, if you will, with a driver while they're driving. No. Again, you are going to add to their stress. Correct. We know that stress is the #1 cause of fatigue, which is our topic for the week. So all this dominoes, we talk about one bad decision by a driver leads to others, right, as a domino. Same thing from the office. When you start off wrong, like talking to a driver while they're driving and having that hard conversation, then that's going to lead to something else, and that dominoes, and you started them dominoes to fall. So you really do have to, you don't want to call them during the break. You don't know if they're sleeping or not. If they're on their 10-hour, you wait till it's coming up. You make a note, put a note. You know, sometimes it's very hard. Sometimes it doesn't happen for 2 or 3 days. We had that with a driver who drives nights, and then finally one day he started at 3:30, so we had the conversation.
I have a question, though. You see something like this, and it concerns me. Do you ever call and say, hey, is everything okay? I mean, are you all right? Are you feeling well? Because, you know, believe it or not, those moments like that they can happen, and it may not be by intentionality. Yeah. It might be by distraction.
And before you answer that, Bob, I'm going to throw something else in there, because when I watch these videos, and this is from my seat, but I want you, the operations manager, the safety, supervisors, director, whoever you are that's doing these, when you watch these videos, at no point does it ever make me mad. When I look at these videos, it concerns me, it worries me. Am I getting ready to see an accident when you watch these videos? It's nothing to be mad at. And I think when we talk to the driver, it's not a mad at you for running that red light. It's I'm concerned. Are you okay?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
And so what's your point to that, Buckle Up?
No, I agree 100%. And one of the things I do hear from the driver managers when they talk to drivers is they usually will start off with, are you okay? And that is huge. That's a big culture change. Again, we got a long way to go here, but I think the industry as a whole has to do that. One of the things you hear all the time is we do not celebrate successes. We do not show that concern. That comes from drivers. That's a lesson I had to learn. Driver says, why are you talking down to me? And I didn't even realize I was. Mm-hmm. And so we asked them to break bad habits, but we really got to look inward and say, okay, what bad habits do I have that I can change and help this driver? The end result is not to get rid of a driver. There's not enough of you to go around. We need to keep you, but we need you to be safe. We need to have that concern for your safety and realize, find a way, I call it the bedside manner, if you will, to tell you and to approach the subject of, hey, what you're doing could end your life or somebody else's, and I know that's not what you want.
Well, and I just want you to, and I agree with you 100%. And I just want to make sure that these moments are opportunities. All right, even though they're bad and they're scary, they're genuine opportunities to come to help the driver get it to be a little bit better at their trade craft than they ever have been before, and develop greater and better habits. Some guys have been doing this 25 years, and the industry has changed in a lot of ways, but I'll tell you, safety hasn't. But how we view it and how we deal with it and how we react to it is ever evolving for the better. And I think this is a great opportunity when we see these things right here. We have a chance to coach the moment and bring into the driver a better driver. And that's really what we truly want in the end, right? A better and safer driver all the way. And I think every driver out there, as we talk to them, wants to be better than they were yesterday, wants to do better than they did yesterday, and wants to be safer than they were yesterday.
Yeah, make a difference, in how you're educating your drivers. Use it as a teachable, a coachable moment, if you would. Take this time to check on the driver on how they're doing. And know that all the videos that you do look at throughout those successes, that, man, if you can, call them and tell them good job on that as well. It does make a difference. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day you've given us. We ask that you give us, the ability to learn how to take some of this data that we see and to make our lives better for our drivers. Continue to be with these shippers and receivers to help us find efficiencies, to give these drivers back that time that they can maybe get a few more safe miles and get back home to their family. Thank you for all the courage that you've given them. Thank you for always, giving them that ability to step up when we as a country need them to step up. These drivers, these people in logistics are so special. We ask you continued blessings and prayers on that, what's going on overseas and the leaders of the world. Help us make the best decision. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. Everybody, we want you to make today the very safest day you can be. Make that dedication, Dave. Buckle up, Rob, right? Make that dedication to be safe. Make it in your heart to do all you can to protect life. With that, guys, we will see you next time. This is BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
See you later, everybody.